Raw. Raw. That's some of the things going on at the wall. Rich Hagon, Paul Cheon, who's losing the will to live. We are going to talk to you about Dinosaurs. It's another of our draft archetype blueprints. Now, the idea of these is to give you the shape of a typical dinosaur deck. Not necessarily, Paul, the best deck that you're going to enshrine in the Draft Builder Hall of Fame, but the kind of deck you're going to draft every time you sit down to play with the dinos. You're going to get a bunch of commons, a handful of uncommons. We might squeeze in an odd rare as we go along. So, Paul, let's get to it. Let's get to the big board, and we're going to start just as a general overview. We've got 3 colors of dinosaurs. What are dinosaurs trying to do?
Well, dinosaurs are trying to go big. That's often the strategy, right? They're dinosaurs, they're huge. And like you see here, the primary strategy is to play some of these enablers. You have cards like Kinjali's Collar, Drover of the Mighty, Otepec Huntmaster to ramp into your big, large dinosaurs. There's a lot of humans that also synergize with these dinosaurs. These are a little bit smaller, but if you have a dinosaur in play, you get a little bit of a benefit. And of course, there's the mechanic, the enrage mechanic. There's often ways to deal damage to your own dinosaurs so that you actually get some kind of a benefit.
All right, so let's get to it. We're going to start at the bottom of the curve. Remember, curve is the natural flow of the deck from 1 mana upwards. At 1, no creatures. Well, that's not a surprise. You wouldn't expect too many 1-mana dinosaurs. So we've got a Ryle, which certainly is not a turn 1 play, and a Commune with Dinosaurs, which certainly could be.
Yeah, Commune with Dinosaurs is excellent in this deck. Oftentimes in this deck, you're going to have something like 10 or 11 dinosaurs. It allows you to kind of fix your mana. You can even sometimes cheat on your mana by playing Commune with Dinosaurs. Helps you find your big creatures, helps you smooth out your draws. Ryle, again, we talked about it before, the mechanic for dinosaurs is enrage. So cards like Ravenous Daggertooth allows you to basically, you know, draw a card and also get a little bit of an advantage with this card.
We've heard from all the pros that aggro is the place to be. So I'm presuming that we're going to see quite a lot of stuff happening at the 2 slot.
That's a lot of 2-drops.
That is a lot of 2-drops. And you've already mentioned the ramp. There's the Otepec Huntmaster and the Drover of the Mighty. But we've also got some pretty aggressive cards here with the 2 Telanali's Knights.
Yeah. So we talked about the ramp effects. We have the Drover of the Mighty, excellent card, and the Otepec Huntmaster as well at enabling and ramping your dinosaurs. We have 2 copies of Telanali's Knight, 2 mana 2/2. But if you have a dinosaur in play, it gets bigger. It's a 2 mana 3/3. That's a really great deal, especially in this format where oftentimes you're trying to race your opponent. Then we have 1 copy of Raptor Hatchling. This is a 2 mana 1/1 with Enrage. When it gets enraged, you make 3/3 dinosaurs, combos excellently with cards like Ryle and Pounce to make your 3/3. Then we have Ixalan's Keeper because sometimes you need another 2-drop.
Right, yeah. And 2-drops are hard to find,
right,
aren't they, increasingly? That's one of the takeaways from this tournament. Couple of tricks there, sure. Strike, obviously, you're going to win a combat with that, and Pounce. Here's the 3s. We've got a Rummaging Goblin, which is about card selection, right?
Right. Yeah. The thing with this format is there aren't a ton of mana sinks, so Rummaging Goblin does allow you to kind of filter out your lands kind of in the mid to late phases of the game. We have the Ravenous Daggertooth, again, dinosaur, very important. Lets you search, it's an early play. Then we have our pretty amazing spells here, Fire Cannon Blast, just a great removal effect. You don't have to be pirates, you don't have to be raiding. This is just a great removal spell. Savage Stomp, one of the best cards in the set, in my opinion.
Okay, now let me ask you about this card, Crash the Ramparts, because 3 mana for a trick is clunky.
Right.
Is it worth it?
Absolutely. In this format, it's all about attacking, so I will take just about any combat trick that's available to me. If you have Crash the Ramparts, Trample is a big game. Oftentimes in Dinosaurs, you're going to have these giant monsters, but they might be vanilla. They might just be a 5/5. This allows you to trample over for the final few points of damage. Then you have Savage Stomp, an excellent fight spell. It puts a +1/+1 counter. It only costs 1 mana if you target a dinosaur. That's a large game, and of course, a lot of these dinosaurs also have Enraged, so it acts as a removal effect, pump spell, and it gets to trigger Enrage. It does everything.
All right, so let's move on to the 4-drops now. Another couple of creatures here. You've got Grazing Whiptail, which really gets in the way of the flies. The 3/4 for 4 is not super exciting. The Reach kind of is. Yep. And then Thrash of Raptors, that's much more aggressive.
Right. So with the Grazing Whiptail, I've actually been very pleasantly surprised by this card. Reach is a very big game in this format. There's a lot of evasion going on around with vampires and merfolk. And And 4 toughness I found is actually a really great rate. A lot of like X3, three power creatures in the format, so this is a very, very good blocker. Thrash of Raptors, 4 mana, 5/3 trample in the dinosaur deck. That's a really excellent rate if you're looking to be in this archetype.
All right, so with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 creatures so far, well, we're starting to get up
Got
the
a light
high
on
end.
creatures, right?
Yeah, now, okay, what we refer to as our mythic uncommon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now you're not going to get past this card very often, particularly not in Pack 1. Charging Monster, just a tremendous card.
Oh, just look at okay, 5 mana, 5/5. That's already pretty good rate, right? Why not give it trample and haste? I remember somebody came to me and was like, Paul, why did you guys make Reality Smasher at uncommon? I was just like, which is also a 5 mana, 5/5 trampling haste creature. I'm just like, I don't know, we got to make some nice dinosaurs, right? This is the dinosaur set, and this thing is a total beating. Then we have Unfriendly Fire, just need another removal effect, and it gives you a little bit of reach because, of course, it can also go to players.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to this side of the monitor here because I think things are about to get a little bit hefty. Let's see what's left.
Whoa! Okay, we got some big creatures here.
All right, walk us through the end of the deck.
All right, so let's kind of just talk about the commons first. We have Colossal Dreadmaw and Suncrowned Hunters. Colossal Dreadmaw, excellent rate, 6 mana, 6/6 trampler, great finisher. But I guess you guys decided to get a little fancy. We also have Burning Sun's Avatar, one of the best rares in the set. Happens to be a dinosaur, 6 mana, 6s, comes into play, 3 damage to creature and 3 damage to player. And then we have our Dinosaur Lord in Thundering Spineback. All dinosaurs get +1/+1. We talked about lack of mana sinks in the format. This is one of the best ones.
All right, now you might be thinking we'd be playing 18 land with so many things up the top end, but 17 is fine as we look at the finished deck here for you. And there it is. You're getting a sense of trying to work your way up the curve, not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like fair decks, but going 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 maybe, somewhere in there. So you are very much just getting ready to pile drive your opponents into submission. How much fun is Dinos? How much goodness is in Dinos?
I've actually had the most success with kind of the cheaper end of the dinosaurs, and I do think dinosaurs is a strong strategy. Commune with Dinosaurs being the card that you kind of get late. If nobody else is in Dinosaurs, I've been really, really happy with this card because it basically just makes sure you don't get flooded, right? You draw this card in the late game, you can find your dinosaur, but in the early game, it smooths out your draws.
All right, so there you go. That's a draft archetype blueprint. When you sit down to draft dinos, maybe you're going to end up with something a little like those. Best of luck. Have fun.